The 9-to-5 trap can fundamentally shift the way you approach life, work, and wealth. Most people live their entire lives in a system that was never designed to serve them. It was designed to serve stability for someone else. They wake up each morning, commute to a job, follow someone else's rules, get a paycheck, and repeat the cycle year after year, believing that this is security, that this is safety, that this is success. But here's the truth. The 9-to-5 trap limits your potential, caps your earnings, and confines your life to someone else's vision. It's a slow cage built with routines, habits, and conditioned thinking. And the real tragedy is that most people don't even realize it until they reach middle age, feeling trapped, frustrated, and wondering where their dreams went. The first step to breaking free is awareness. You must see the system for what it truly is. The 9-to-5 trap isn't inherently evil, but it is restrictive. It rewards predictability over creativity, compliance over initiative, and stability over freedom. It teaches dependency, dependency on a boss, dependency on a paycheck, dependency on circumstances beyond your control. If your mind is conditioned to accept this as normal, you will never question it, and you will never escape it. Awareness is the moment you recognize that trading your time for money is not a sustainable path to wealth or fulfillment. Every hour spent in someone else's system is an hour you could spend building your own skills, your own business, your own assets. Awareness is painful, yes, but it is liberating because it opens the door to possibility. It allows you to question the rules, the limits, and the assumptions that have been unconsciously shaping your life. Once awareness sets in, the next step is taking responsibility for your own financial future. Most people expect security to be handed to them, but the reality is security comes from action, from strategy, from the ability to generate value independently. When you take full responsibility, you stop blaming the system, your boss, the economy, or circumstances. You realize that your life, your financial independence, and your freedom are in your own hands. Responsibility is empowering because it shifts the locus of control from external forces to your own decisions. It is the recognition that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your own destiny. This mindset shift is critical because it breaks the mental chains of the 9-to-5 trap and positions you to act with purpose, focus, and courage. Financial responsibility also requires a new definition of work and value. In a 9-to-5, your income is directly tied to hours worked, effort applied, and the approval of someone else. But wealth is not about hours. It is about impact, leverage, and the value you create in the world. The moment you embrace this, you start thinking differently. You begin to ask, how can I create systems that generate income without me trading time for money? How can I build a business, an investment, or an intellectual property that works for me, even when I'm not physically present? How can I serve more people, solve bigger problems, and multiply the value I provide? Responsibility shifts your perspective from being a passive employee to an active architect of your own financial destiny. The third step is recognizing the power of leverage. In the 9-to-5, your earnings are capped. 1 hour equals 1 hour of pay, and there is a maximum ceiling defined by your role, your boss, and your industry. Leverage changes everything. Leverage allows you to decouple time from income. It means using systems, technology, networks, and skills to amplify your efforts. The richest people in the world understand this principle. They don't trade hours for dollars. They create assets that work independently of their daily labor. Leverage can take many forms. Building a business that scales, investing in assets that grow, licensing your knowledge, or creating intellectual property that generates royalties. The more leverage you apply, the faster your financial freedom grows, and the less you are trapped by someone else's schedule. Understanding the 9-to-5 trap also means recognizing the subtle ways it shapes your mindset. It teaches comfort over growth, predictability over creativity, and compliance over initiative. Most people stay in their jobs not because they love them, but because they are comfortable, they are afraid to risk, or they have been conditioned to believe it is normal. The trap convinces you that trading your time for money is safe, but safety without freedom is a cage. The realization that your life is limited by someone else's rules is both terrifying and liberating. It forces you to question every habit, every assumption, and every choice you have made to this point. Awareness, responsibility, and leverage combined create the mental framework for breaking free and taking control of your destiny. When you integrate awareness, responsibility, and leverage into your life, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Awareness allows you to recognize the limits of the 9 to 5. Responsibility motivates you to act decisively, to develop skills, and to create value independently. Leverage allows you to multiply your efforts, scale your impact, and accelerate wealth creation. These 3 steps are not separate. They reinforce each other. Awareness without responsibility leads to frustration. Responsibility without leverage leads to exhaustion. Leverage without awareness leads to misaligned efforts. Together, they form a system for freedom, independence, and financial growth. Breaking the 9 to 5 trap also requires action. Awareness and responsibility are useless without execution. You must start small, but start now. Begin by learning, experimenting, and creating multiple streams of income. Invest in yourself. Acquire skills that are valuable in the marketplace, and seek out mentors who have successfully escaped the trap. Build systems that generate results without relying solely on your time. Each step you take reinforces your belief in possibility, expands your clarity, and builds momentum that accelerates your progress. Momentum is the secret weapon against the 9 to 5 trap because it compounds over time, creating opportunities, confidence, and resources that were impossible at the starting point. Moreover, escaping the 9 to 5 trap is not just about money. It is about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your purpose. True freedom comes when you're no longer dependent on a paycheck, when you can direct your own schedule, when you can invest in personal growth, and when you can make decisions aligned with your values and vision. Money becomes a tool, not a limitation. Time becomes a resource, not a commodity. Responsibility transforms from burden to empowerment. Awareness illuminates the path forward, and leverage accelerates your journey. Together, these 3 pillars give you the ability to design a life of abundance, fulfillment, and true freedom. The 9 to 5 trap is seductive because it promises stability and routine, but it robs you of potential, creativity, and financial freedom. Awareness reveals the limits, responsibility empowers your decisions, and leverage multiplies your results. When you integrate these principles into your life, you no longer live under someone else's rules. You CRE. 8 your own. You build assets, systems, and opportunities that work independently of your daily effort. You reclaim your time, your energy, and your destiny. You develop a mindset that sees possibility, acts decisively, and persists relentlessly. You escape the trap not through luck, but through conscious choice, disciplined action, and unwavering commitment. Ultimately, breaking free from the 9 to 5 trap is a journey of self-mastery, financial intelligence, and strategic execution. Awareness allows you to see the cage, responsibility compels you to act, and leverage ensures your efforts produce exponential results. These 3 steps are not just strategies. They are a philosophy of life that empowers you to take control, create wealth, and live on your own terms. The trap exists, but it is not permanent. Freedom, financial independence, and the ability to live a life aligned with your vision are within reach. If you are willing to see the truth, take full responsibility, and leverage every tool, skill, and opportunity available to you.